One very important thing that we have to do as part of transforming ourselves is to recognize the feedback loop between the body and the brain. So how we feel is how we think, and how we think is how we feel. And at some point, we don't know what came first, thinking or feeling. Are we thinking negative because we're feeling negative? Are we feeling negative because we're thinking negative? And so what we have to do is to short circuit the thinking feeling pattern that keeps us trapped in one particular feeling all the time, or one particular stream of thinking all the time. So what do we start first? Trying to think ourselves happy or think ourselves positive? Or should we rather start using our bodies to start feeling happy, feeling positive, feeling joy, and then allow that feedback of the body to echo to the mind, and the mind being your brain? So how do we do that? And why is it so important? Well, think about it. Our thoughts are 80% negatively biased. So we're thinking worst case scenario, what happens if, predicting the future, always with a negative outlook. And that is detrimental to our growth. So if our brains are tricking us into thinking negatively, then we can use our bodies to trick our brains into looking at the bright side of life. And because our brains are 80% negatively biased, in other words, we're wired to look at the worst case scenario, our brains are playing tricks on us, which are affecting our thoughts. So we can do the same trick on our thoughts by using our body to create feelings that are positive, that are open, that are joyful. And from this feedback, the thoughts start changing, because you'd be thinking, well, I feel great, and everything looks positive because you're feeling positive, and your thoughts will now change as well. So we basically crack the code, short circuit the process, and start rewiring our neurons to look at life more holistically, more open, more full, more rich, instead of more sadly, more negatively, and always trying to consume our minds with trying to solve the problem. We short circuit this process. So how do we do this? The secret lies in looking at children. And if you look at the behavior of children, then you'll recognize what our natural behavior should be and how we should normally be. Now, one of the key things you notice with a child is the child's always looking up, right? Because it's smaller than us and it's always trying to get our attention. It's always looking up. So if you look at adults and our downward, especially with the cell phone usage, we're always looking down, and we're looking down at children. We're looking down at everything. And this looking down all the time starts changing our thoughts. So if you look at a child, it's always, excited, looking for the mysteries of life, looking for what they can learn, and they're always looking outwards. So one of the secrets is to be like a child. Look up, look around, look ahead, but try to avoid looking down all the time, and become very conscious at this time of downward looking. So always look either forward or upwards, and do that specifically and forced. In other words, fake it. So if your natural inclination is to look down, make sure you look up. Even your cell phone, hold it up and read it like that and say, oh, because you're becoming very conscious of that. So one of the key things is to look up instead of looking down, and look ahead. The other thing is to look at things with a great sense of excitement. So if you look at a child, it looks at everything with a discovering mind. It's always trying to see what can they learn. They're not saying how can they avoid some kind of pain or some kind of suffering, because they don't know about that. So they're always looking for the mysteries of the universe. They're not asking about the mysteries of the universe, but they're looking at exploring ways of learning more. So when you do something, instead of you having this mundane look of, oh my God, here it is again, look excited. And so you've got to fake it and say, oh, wow, look at this. This is really interesting. And even if somebody's talking to you, instead of you're just looking down and looking them from the side, engage with them. Look at them with the bright eyes. Open your eyes and be engaging with everything that you see around you. It's like looking for the thing that you didn't notice before. So you're becoming super aware and looking for the mysteries of the universe instead of this is the same mundane all the time. So you're training your neurons to be excited once again about life. The other thing you notice about children is their eyes. They sparkle. They're not small. They're always open. And if you try this and open your eyes, you'll notice a feeling of expansion. And if you look at people that are very engaging and can keep your interest, they're not looking at you going, today I'm going to talk about something really exciting. You're going to see them, today I'm going to talk about something really exciting. So our primal instincts for attention and how we perceive that in others is definitely to do with our eyes. So you can trick your brain as well by looking at the world with these bright eyes, with these open eyes, because these open eyes are not afraid of the world. They're ready to engage and see what's exciting. So open your eyes, keep your eyes open, and keep your eyes in this mysterious looking for the magic in life, not the usual mundane sadness. The other thing that we have to do is to teach our facial expressions to smile more. Because if you look at the average person, we're frowning, our eyes are pointing down, our faces are even changing. And you can see I didn't smile much in my youth because a lot of wrinkles going on here. So what we've got to do is force a smile. And I started doing this and I looked like a weirdo, but I didn't care because I realized the feedback loop that was going on here. So random times throughout the day, 10 times a day, at random times, you've got to count it. Force the smile. So it doesn't look very pleasant and you can do it in the traffic. That's what I do. And people look at me like a weirdo, but you know what? I don't mind. So force a smile. So it's smile. See, now you've got to make me do this on camera, but it's okay. It's for learning purposes. So smile, but then really force the smile so you're gauging all these muscles. And in fact, there's a Chinese acupuncture and Chinese facial beauty methods where they teach you this so that you make your face more beautiful. And that's one of the techniques where you force to smile. Now, don't just smile with your mouth, smile with your eyes. And you've got to keep that on for at least 5 minutes. And if you can go for 10 minutes, do that. And notice how it starts changing the way that you feel just by forcing the smile. Of course, if you don't want to look like a stranger or a weirdo, then do it in private. But constantly, 10 times in the day, 5 minutes a day, forced smile through the mouth and through the eyes. The other thing to do is to notice how you move, whether you move slowly or you move fast. And so instead of you getting up from your computer, like the usual, get up fast. And when you walk fast. And when you do anything, do it with purpose and do it with excitement or movement rather than you're trotting around like this, waiting for the next thing that you dread. So you're telling your body, I'm excited, I'm full of life, I can do the next thing. And in the beginning, it will be a little difficult, but after a while, you'll be like, yep, you get up and you go down, and that's going to strengthen your core muscles and everything else that you do as well. So jump up, do things quickly. And when you're walking, it's very important for you to take a skip. Have you seen how when someone's really happy and they're walking and they do light little skip, like, that light skip, you've got to do that. You've got to skip at least once for every 10 steps and do that every day. Throw a skip in. You'll be surprised what it does for your well-being and for how excited you are about life. So include a step and do that 10 times. So when you walk for 10 steps, take a skip in. And if you don't like to do that in public, then do that in private. But you must feel that skip and that lightness inside of you. The other thing you have to do is to use your hands to show the excitement. So teach your body and your mind why you're so excited about life. So as I taught before, when you get out of bed, the first thing you do is throw your arms in the air and say, yes, I'm alive. And really feel that throughout your body. Yes, I'm alive. And then throughout the day, I want you to do that at least 10 times and say, I just feel so good. I just feel so good. And let that feeling go over your entire body. And that will start changing the way that you feel. And it works instantly. So 10 times a day, throw your arms in the air and just say, I just feel so good. And especially first thing in the morning, do that and say, yes, I'm alive, which means you have another day and it may be your last day. to experience life? Are you going to be sulking around going, oh God, not another day? Or will you have a new skip in your step? And that's what you want to do, is to live each day with this excitement. But it's no point talking about it and reading positive affirmations. Teach your body how to do this. Your posture is the next vital thing that you have to do. Keep your spine straight, keep your shoulders down, because the shoulders where we tend to hold a lot of pressure. Instead of be aware that you're not doing this, put your shoulders down, your neck up, and feel as if though there's a string pulling up, keeping you up like this. So your posture is natural and your back is straight, your feet, your posture is open, you're not crossed in, crossed arms like this, almost suffocating yourself like you're in the fetal position. Change your posture. And this has been proven by Harvard and all these great studies that open posture, taking up more space, right? These are, you could call them alpha characteristics. It means you're dominating the situation. And this, rigid, closed posture is not what you want. So whenever you're feeling a bit stuck, open your posture and make sure your spine is straight. Make sure you feel like there's a thread going up, and make sure that you have open posture all the time. So you're taking as much space as possible. Legs on the ground instead of everything, your legs as well crunched up. To keep your posture wide open. It's been proven to change the way that you feel and think pretty much instantly. Notice how you sigh throughout the day. You're just like, you've got to avoid that, because sighing is the need to exhale more carbon dioxide, but it's also a need to inhale more oxygen. So what we do constantly when our bodies are tiring down and we feel stressful, we start sighing and then we start yawning. So resist the urge. So when you feel like sighing, and you'll notice how much you do this unconsciously, we're just like, you've got to stop doing that, okay? Because that's going to change your feedback in your brain as well. So when you have the urge, hold your breath and let that urge pass. And to assist with that, you can take belly breaths, which means that you breathe in through your belly and breathe out through your mouth. So breathe in. So in other words, you're expanding the belly on the in-breath and you're contracting the belly on the out-breath. What we most of us do is that we are chest-lung breathers. What we've got to do, if you look at a child and you look at the child's belly, it's constantly going up like that and down because it's breathing through its belly. And that's the most powerful breathing you can do. So take a deep breath in, expand the belly, contract the belly. Expand, contract. So the belly is being used to breathe rather than the lungs. Your waking up and sleeping routine is really important. So like I said to you, when you wake up in the morning, throw your hands in there and say, yes, I'm alive today. And once you say, yes, I'm alive today, say, I wonder what miracles and magic await me today. So you're going out already priming your day, looking for the magic and miracles that life has in store for you, creating an expectation for the universe to bring you this excitement and mystery that you've been waiting for. So yes, I'm alive. And then you say, I wonder what miracles and magic are waiting for me today. And that'll make a huge difference to your day. When you get to bed at night, what's very important for you to do is to say, I've had such an amazing day. And this is entirely subjective, right? What's an amazing day compared to a shitty day? So you say, I've had such an amazing day. I feel so complete. And then you're telling your body that you feel complete and that you feel whole and you didn't waste a day, because that's our usual dialogue. So say, I've had a wonderful, complete day. And then cuddle up. If you notice what children do, they cuddle up. So cuddle up in your blankets and say, oh, this bed feels amazing. Okay? And then prepare yourself for such a nourishing night's sleep that you're going to be so nourished in the morning that you're so excited about waking up. And when you do that, before you fall asleep, you wait and you set the intention that you're going to wake up so rested in the morning. So at night, you're going to cuddle in and say, oh, I can't wait for a beautiful, restful night's sleep, and then feel very complete and very whole. When you wake up in the morning, then stretch. If you see children stretching, they wake up and they're like, oh, I feel so rested. Oh, stretch your body and then feel how rested and recharged and energized you are. And if you do this in the beginning, you're actually going to find that you're going to sleep better and they're going to wake up very refreshed. So force that when you wake up in the morning, say, oh, it feels so good. Like you're just so relaxed and nourished and ready to take on the day. So do that forced, and then it'll become very, very continuous. It'll become very natural after a while. And the last thing I want you to be aware of is keeping your mouth closed. So most of us end up becoming mouth breathers. So we walk around like this. And that is very counterproductive, because what we want to do is become nose breathers and belly breathers, not mouth breathers and lung breathers. And that has a huge impact on weight loss, beauty, breathing, heart disease, keeping your heart strong, breathing, and all the rest of it. So your tongue against your palate is very important, and mouth closed. Okay, there's a Russian scientist who developed a technique called the Buteyko breathing. You don't need to look it up, but the whole idea is to change the way that you breathe, and your tongue against your palate starts changing your face. And if you see nose breathers, their faces are more symmetrical and more beautiful. So one of the benefits you're going to get is you're going to get a longer face and a much more handsome or beautiful looking face, just by you keeping your mouth closed, tongue against the palate, and breathing through your nose. Buteyko even recommends taping your mouth up, but we don't need to do that right now. So through the night, your nose breathing, because you're really nourishing your body. And a lot of us keep our mouths open all the time, and then we start snoring, and it's not very nourishing at all. So that's the other thing that you have to do. Keep your mouth closed, breathe through your nose, and put your tongue against your palate, and be aware of this throughout the day. If you can do this and be aware of these steps throughout your day, you're going to find your day becoming so much brighter. You just saying, I don't know why, I just feel so light and energized. And you're going to find yourself in your dialogues as well, contributing to life in a very positive way. There was a test done regarding body language and open posture and taking up more room. In other words, this alpha type of posture and structure, and they measured two vital things: testosterone, which is our drive and our will, and also our feeling that we are strong, and then cortisol. And they found that through the correct posture, breathing, and open posture, testosterone levels rise in both men and women, which makes you feel more powerful and being able to believe that you can do things, and your cortisol levels go down, which means that your stress response in your body is so much more lower. So you're not engaging with life in a stressful way. You're more calm, you're more relaxed, you're more confident, and you're more empowered. So testosterone goes up, which means it gives you more confidence and more power. Cortisol goes down, which means that you're not stressed anymore, and your body's not producing all the inflammation, which is the number one cause to all the types of diseases that we have in our lives right now. So tremendously powerful practice. I wish you all the best, and give me your feedback as to how successful you were with these wonderful practices.